All right. Well, let's step into IT together, shall we? So I'll let Abu sort of kick us off with this slide here, and then I will take over going forward.
Sure. Hi, everyone. Welcome to IT Job Prep. So I guess you're watching this or joined in this Zoom session because you are interested into pursue your career in IT. So as you can see in this screen, there are different roles in IT support specialist, networking, cybersecurity, software developer, things like that. So there's different, path that you can choose. However, we feel like one of the easiest path is to get into IT as an IT support specialist, because this is like an entry-level role, and most of the skills that required, you already have it. It's mostly customer service with a little bit of technical skills required, so which is what we can help you here.
I think this is just a kind of along the same lines. These are like career paths that you can take when you get an entry-level role, like the one that we've been talking about, IT support specialist, or they go by other names, but they're basically the same job. When you get into that sort of thing, you're going to have a lot of exposure to different things. And you'll be able to kind of figure out where your passions are and where you might want to concentrate. And there's a lot of variety in IT. You can see right here. This is just one example. This is just the CompTIA career routing. There's several others. If you want to get into cloud computing, there's a career path you can take specifically for AWS, Microsoft certifications. So it is a big universe. Let's see if Abu has anything to say specifically about this one.
No, you hit it on the spot. Like that's one of the things that I always say is start with IT support specialist, because that's very entry level and you get the exposure to work with different teams, different people, and rather than figuring out initially what you want to be, whether you want to be a developer or a software tester or any other kind of high levels role, I would always recommend to start with IT support specialist, because that will give you the foot in your door in IT, and you can grow from there.
Awesome. So for the purposes of this course in particular, we're going to again concentrate on an entry-level position that's still very exciting and demanding on your mind and stuff. What is an IT support specialist? Well, they're basically the first line of defense when someone has a problem, or when there's something wrong in an information system or in the infrastructure somewhere. So you're going to be the first line of defense. You'll be the first hands-on with the problem, and you're not going to be able to solve every problem, but the idea is you're going to have enough of an idea as to the big picture as to what's going on, that if you have to escalate or if you have to work with another team, you're able to communicate effectively what's happening and set up the next person for success, all to help the organization run smooth. I probably made it more complicated than it had to be. I just don't like reading slides. So there you go. You can read this on your own time. Did you have anything to add on that, Abu? Okay. So in general, just a few bullet points, what you would expect in a role like this. You're going to answer phone calls, you're going to take incoming tickets, emails, whatever the case may be. Each organization is different. Each role is different. Got to be a good communicator. You have to be able to get your point across. And so that's sort of a lifelong endeavor for anybody in the workforce, not just people who, where English may not be their second language. I have to work on language skills as well, just to be an effective communicator with the level I'm at. Infrastructure, you're going to deal with computer, email, network, peripherals, you name it. If someone in an office uses it, you're probably going to have to know something about it. Some of the tools you use are your ticketing system, so you can keep track of issues, support requests, resetting passwords, that sort of thing. Active Directory, which is basically how all users are authenticated in the workplace and the domain, which is transitioning to Microsoft 365 as everyone's starting to go cloud-based. So you're probably going to see that more often. And then RMM, which is remote monitoring management. Every once in a while, you may have to remote into someone's machine and see what's going on. Help them reproduce a problem if you're trying to find out what the problem is, or even solve the problem right there on the spot. There's a lot of acronyms. Here's just a few of them: ITIL, AD, RMM, DNS. We're going to go over all these in the course. In fact, I think we have a cheat sheet for you before day one that you're going to get. You can familiarize yourself with those acronyms because they're going to be rapid fire. So yeah, get ready. You're not going to need to know any coding, but the more knowledge you have in IT, the better, obviously. And depending on where you go in your help desk career, you may end up becoming a systems administrator where you might do scripting. That's probably as close as I've ever gotten to coding, but it's a powerful thing to know. So in general, most organizations, you're going to have two weeks to a month of training, or where you're going to shadow someone and you get to see what they do. So you usually just don't get thrown to the wolves. You usually have time to train with somebody who knows what they're doing, where you can ask questions and get more comfortable. Interactions with customers and different IT members. So you're going to be working with whoever your end users are, plus anyone on your team or on other teams in the organization, as we've been mentioning. And every organization is different. Some work cultures are low pressure, others are very demanding and very high pressure. Some people work really well under high pressure. In a lot of ways, I feel like I'm that way. So it just depends on what's a good fit for you. Like, you may end up in a place where things are just kind of boring. So ultimately, this kind of role is going to open up some doors for you. You get to be choosy. When you go to an interview, you're interviewing them as much as they're interviewing you. So just keep that in mind. Abu, I'll let you take this slide.
Sure. On the last slide, I'll just add one thing. Is like, it sounds like a lot, but our course is designed to capture all those topics, not only on theory, but also hands-on. So we train you as much as possible so that even before they train you, you're already prepared. And we also train you what to expect when you start the job, so you have very little hiccups. Obviously, there will be a little bit of change, little bit of rough ride initially, because you're trying to get from your career, whether you're working in a customer service or any other role. It will be a little bit of challenge, but again, our course is designed for people like you, so that you can start a new job comfortably. So in the next slide, it just gives you again another example of the jobs that are available. It's an IT support technician. As you have seen, the role that we talked about is IT support specialist just changed. So again, you will hear this quite often from us, that there are various names for this, tech support, IT support, service desk, but in theory, it's all the same thing, basically supporting your end users or customers. And one of the things is highlighted already, Brian touched based on some of the key skills, desktop support, Office 365, which is right now Microsoft 365, some networking, troubleshooting, Active Directory, Windows operating systems, things like that. And as you can see, the salary will be depending on your location and on what company. So there are different things, but usually our students get salary between 60 to 75K on a yearly contract. And if it's hourly, usually it's about $20 to $28 an hour. So it just depends on your location, geographic location, where you are, what company you're getting for. It's not a really high pay, But once again, this is one of the easiest and one of the smoothest way to start IT, because as I mentioned, is you pretty much have 70 to 80% of the skills, and we can help you out to get the remaining.
So before, before we get started, before you commit to us, we just ask you to determine if this is the right role for you. A little bit down here, I think we talk about you looking at YouTube video. Yeah, there it is on the third bullet there. Try to familiarize yourself as much as you can. And if this is something that interests you, if it's something that excites you, we definitely want to bring you on board and kind of teach you what we know. I know between Abu and myself, I think we have 40 years combined experience in IT, and we'd love to pass on that knowledge to you. It's a lot of work to be done in IT. You got to have the willingness to learn. It doesn't matter what you know, it matters that you can be taught. I think that's the most important thing. And that doesn't just apply with us, that applies with your future employers as well. So I'll say this, I know you probably had something to say about this, Abu, but no one else is in charge of your career except for you. So part of this course is going to be taking charge of that. So you're going to be going on Dice, on Indeed, on LinkedIn, even more platforms, but at least those three. Set your profile up and start networking. And we're going to help you put together a solid profile as you go. But you really need to take your career, take charge of your own career. And we hope to help you do that. We'll look into online courses and certification pathways, kind of like a few slides ago. Again, there's a lot there. It's almost easy to get overwhelmed. I think maybe pathways is something we can talk about more toward the end of the course. What do you think, Abu? Yeah.
That's correct. And again, we have done this course so many times, and we have trained and helped so many students to get jobs. One thing, definitely what we don't want to do is to push you into something that you are not passionate about. So that's one of the things that you need to find out about yourself. There is tons of videos, resource, what our IT support roles are. Do that research. Just find out if this is something that you want to do for the next 1 year. Because again, if you do start a job, you will need to settle down in that role for about a year before you look into upgrading to another role. It is a stepping stone, but again, this is something that you have to hold on to it, because by the time you join the company, training and everything, it takes quite a bit of time. And also, just so you know, like, I guess initially it would be like quite challenging. We have our students, they have came from different background, and they worked in different companies, Manhattan, big companies like Visa, IKEA, things like that. However, companies like that, sometimes, it is a high pressure environment, as Brian was saying. So it can be quite overwhelming and sometimes boring too, because you would be doing the same thing over and over. So this is something that a mentality that you have to accept. For example, let's say a lot of our students came from customer service, where they used to do serving customer every day. It is a boring role as well. So IT support is very similar to serving your customer. So it will be boring, but you just have to set your mind that, okay, I want to get into IT, I want to step in where I'll be working and supporting our customer, and I'll be working with other team members and learning from them. That's the mentality that you should have in order to get into IT.
It looks like in the notes here, we have a Udemy link we can share with you when we share out this video. We're not the only game in town. Like, this is just another way to familiarize yourself with what you're getting into. Because like Abu said, it's important to look at this to decide for yourself if you want to pursue this course and pursue IT. But if you do, it's really important you give it a fair chance. And that, like he said, it takes at least a year to figure out if you actually belong there, or if you want to shift into a more specialized IT route, which is great. It's one of the great things about IT is there's a lot of movement, a lot of mobility. So this is a broad overview of our syllabus. We got 16 lessons, usually takes 4 to 6 weeks to complete. We'll have verbal and written exams. And we're also going to take you through resume and interview prep scenarios. We're trying to hit every single area where, you need to be familiar with what to expect during interviews or during your first couple months on the job. So we're going to offer a 1-day on-site workshop for hands-on training, and we'll point you in the right direction, but we just hope you follow. That's why we have mentors like Naeem. We should have had you introduce yourself. Can you say hi, Naeem, to everybody?
Hi, my name is Naeem.
He's just one of a few mentors that you may be interacting with. So look out for him and the rest of the gang. So if you're not up for the challenge, not able to commit, please give the spot to someone else. That's all we ask. So here's the vitals. Our first class starts on September 5th. We're going to do classes every Tuesday and Thursday from 7 to 9 p.m. When you go into the internship phase, we ask that you be available between 6 and 7 p.m. and that'll be interaction with you and your mentor. The whole class from beginning to end is going to be 6 to 8 weeks, and the last day to enroll is 10 days from now when this is recorded on 15 August. So August 25th is what we're looking at for your last enrollment day. And here's some Q&A stuff. Abu, you want to take this one away? Or we just want to leave the slide up and let them read it?
Yeah, I mean, and also I can touch base quickly. Again, most of the common questions that we always get asked is one of them is to, the salary range. We already touched base is 20 to 28. I put it in 30 and 60 to 85K for the salary. Good communication is not something we can teach. I mean, obviously you need to have some base minimum and we can help you, but we are not being able to help you improve your communication a lot. I mean, we can set you to the right direction, but yeah.
This isn't a communications course is what you're saying, yeah.
Exactly, right. And you do not need a bachelor degree. We have a student that they had just a college degree and they have successfully got jobs.
You mean high school diploma?
High school, yes. However, it is preferable that you have either green card or citizenship. You may get a chance to get a job under work visa, but it's quite challenging, and that's not something covered by our 100% job guarantee. We also get asked by a lot of our students is, can I do this job remotely? Well, it's a preference. I mean, once you go through our course, just so you know, it's a short course and it's a lot to learn. But once you get through that course, we will set your profile up and you will need to apply for a job yourself, and we will mentor you, will help you get to that job. And it's up to you whether, as Brian was saying, it's up to you to pick the job that you want. Obviously, the more picky that you would be, it's going to take a longer time and it's going to take, bit of delay in terms of getting the job. So we have students that they have found remote jobs, and we have also students they have found on-site jobs. We cannot guarantee either. It just depends on that. But as you know, as the COVID restrictions has been lifted off, more and more companies are now looking into hybrid opportunities, not for fully remote or fully on-site. So hybrid would be the most preferable. And in fact, we prefer you that you go on-site and meet with your teams, meet your peers, as well as you get to familiarize with the corporate work culture. Because again, one of our students worked in 50th floor in building on Manhattan. That's quite amazing to experience to be in. And I guess if everything goes well, if you go back to our website, you can sign up. You can enroll into that course directly from our website. We have 2 types of payment. You can either pay us via Zelle, or you can pay us via Stripe directly from our website. Yeah, as the last day to enroll is the 25th.
Well, we appreciate your time. I'm sure Naeem and the rest of our mentors will be reaching out to you, and we really hope to see you in class soon and kind of just impart our experience and yeah, just help you get to another phase.
Yeah.
See you in class.
Yeah. Bye, everyone.
Bye.